Hey everybody, welcome back to this channel. I haven't posted in a while and I thought, I'm a Nintendo fanboy at heart and I haven't done a collection. I don't have a lot, but I thought it would be pretty cool to highlight all the fun memories and games that I have for the various systems on Nintendo's family. My earliest memories when it comes to Nintendo was actually back, I would say 1990 or 1991, around those years when I first played the NES. And I didn't have a lot of games for it, obviously, like you and I. Growing up, we don't always have access to all the games. Our parents could do the best that they could to provide entertainment and memories for us, and I'm always grateful for that, and I will always remember it for the rest of time, and how much of a great time I've had through the years with video games. It's always been there for me. Video games have always been there to entertain and fuel my imagination, and Nintendo has been at the heart of it. Even though in the 90s, I will say, you're not going to see a lot of Super Nintendo games, because I was a Sega kid during the 90s. I played a lot of Genesis, and I have a ton of games for that system. For Super Nintendo, it was a hand-me-down later on, so you're just going to see a few 5 or 6 games. But everything else, I do have a lot, and I'm quite proud of it. I'm not an avid collector. I'm not going to complete any sets. The only thing I do want to collect, now that I am talking with you guys, is the Metroid series, which is my favorite series. Metroid Prime, although I had played the Metroid 2 on Game Boy, it was Prime that made me a fan, and that made me love the franchise. It became my favorite franchise of the company, and now I want to go back and collect all those games that I'm missing. I think I have half the Metroid stuff. I'm not too sure. It's not a whole lot, but that's something that I do want to complete and at least own, even though I'm not going to go back and plug my NES and play those games. I'm still excited about the idea of owning that complete set. Maybe a close second might be Zelda. I don't know. There's a lot of Zelda games. I don't have all of them, but it'd be pretty interesting. I would like to at least own that series of games as well. But let's get started. Let's start with the NES. I'm going to try and show you guys the games I do have. This is a little bit faded, but one of my all-time favorite video games and my favorite Mario game. It is Super Mario Bros. 3. I hope the camera is, let me see it. Yeah, there we go. This, out of the originals, is my favorite. Close second would be Mario 64, but I do think this is probably my favorite Mario game. But they're all great. I don't, not diminishing or disregarding other titles in favor of something. Every single game has its merits, right? Here we have, in the original Nintendo sleeve here, the Mario Bros. Duck Hunt dual collection thing. Those are loose. These are complete in box. Here is a complete in box game of Darkwing Duck. I really hope the camera's focusing properly because I can't see what I'm recording, but hopefully it is working. So Darkwing Duck, one of my all-time favorite memories growing up, along with TMNT. I've been a huge lifelong fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since I was a little kid. They've always been in my life in some shape or form. Here is the original arcade game right there, complete. Another classic. The bottom's all messed up, but you can still see it. It still has the seal somewhat. Battletoads. Never could beat it, but I always had fun playing it. One of my favorite Disney properties. Here we have Tailspin complete in box. Great game. One of my all-time favorite movies, Jurassic Park. This is RBI Baseball 2 right there. That was a lot of fun. This is really banged up. Got a copy of Zexys right there, the space action adventure. Probably butchered that name too. So not a whole ton of NES games. I wish I could own the rest of the Mario series and maybe pick up the Zelda games as well, just to own them really, because I'm not gonna play them. You can use your NES Classic, or on the Switch you can play the NES Online and stuff like that and replay them. I'm not gonna hook up the old systems like I said earlier. So this was a hand-me-down, Super Nintendo. I never played it in the 90s. I played it from my cousins, but I never owned one. Instead, I owned a Sega Genesis and played a ton of Genesis games. Then I moved in the late 90s to PlayStation 1 and N64, and I never got the Saturn or the Dreamcast. So this is a huge chunk of the Nintendo collection that's missing. I would like to own, again, the Super Metroid is the one I'm trying to get at a decent price. It's not like super expensive, but it's not cheap either. But here we have, and I don't think you can see it properly, but it is Clay Fighter. We've got Mortal Kombat 3. At first I was a Mortal Kombat kid, but then I grew to love Street Fighter, and I prefer it over Mortal Kombat. Here we have the first Samurai Showdown, one of my all-time favorite video games, Super Mario World, and Street Fighter 2, of course, Chun-Li being one of my favorite characters in video game history. So after that, like I said, I did not own a Super Nintendo, I should say, and then I moved on to the N64 in the late 90s, and I have a bunch of games here, and I'm really proud that I kept all the boxes and manuals. They're all complete in box. There's actually one or two of them that I'm missing the sleeves for, but I don't really care. I'm not that type of an OCD collector. I'm just happy having the box and the cartridge, and they're all in great condition. So here we have Super Smash Brothers. I still remember when this was coming out and the So Happy Together commercial. That was a blast, and this game is just, it's still a classic to this day, right? So Super Smash Brothers. Here we have probably one of my top 10 video games of all time. I still think this is a masterpiece. Of course, it is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This game really taught me, like, video games can be more than just arcadey fun. There's a story and a sophistication to it, and I loved it. An area of video games that I've never really explored is the RPG route. I've always been more into the action-adventure and platformers. So now, in the later stages of my geeky life, I'm trying to go back and play JRPGs and all that stuff, and get to know those games a little bit better, like Final Fantasies and stuff, and Fire Emblems. I never played any of those games, though they weren't for me, but now I'm going back. Here is my other favorite Mario game, Super Mario 64, right there. And even though I freaking loved playing Donkey Kong Country on my cousin's Super Nintendo, I never owned it, but I did own, as soon as this was available, I just had to ask for it, Donkey Kong 64. I love this so much, with the Rumble Pack. My favorite racing game is Wave Race 64. This was a blast. The music and the ambiance and everything, I loved everything about this game. Wave Race. Another of my favorite racing games, it is Diddy Kong Racing. This was actually pretty fun. I don't know, I've always preferred cartoonish graphics and just this style and aesthetic over realism. So I don't go for the hyper-realistic racing games or the military shooters. I'm much more open to stuff like this than all that. So I'm not into like your nowadays with Call of Duties and all that stuff, or Forza Horizon or whatever it's called, the different racing games. Here's Bomberman 64. Another one of my favorites. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm sorry. A classic for everybody. This is GoldenEye 007. And here are the two boxes that I'm missing cardboards for them, but everything else is inside, including the Rumble Pack. This is Star Fox 64. This was actually, I think this was one of my first games where I finished it all by myself, and I was really proud of that. I remember the first playthrough. Something was happening. I had to go somewhere, and I had to shut the game off before I could actually save the final progress, right? So I was really angry about it. I couldn't finish it, and I had to go back and replay everything and beat it for the second time and actually save the progress on the game. So I somehow remember all of that. But still, one of my all-time favorite games right there. And I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so you know I had to have this. This is Pokemon Stadium. I don't actually have the second one. By then, I sort of took a break from gaming and everything, so We'll go back to that. So here is Stadium. So that's my Nintendo 64 collection. I then moved on to PlayStation. I didn't move on to PlayStation. I moved on to PS2, and then I went back to PS1, and then eventually I was hooked like everybody else on getting the frickin' GameCube. I was so excited about that. I remember it selling out everywhere, and I had to get some help to order it from, I don't know if it was from a store in New York or Pennsylvania or something, but my cousin helped me out acquiring one because locally it was all sold out, and he was able to snag like one of the last remaining ones. That was back in 2002, I want to say, 2003. I can't remember all the dates, I'm sorry. But here it is, the game that started my obsession and me realizing this is my favorite franchise. I love the Metroid franchise so much. I don't own all the games, but I've played most of them. But physically, I only have almost half of them. So here is Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Here we have my, probably stylistically, my favorite Zelda game. Which one is the best is up for debate for you guys, but I love the Wind Waker so much. And I remember pre-ordering it, and they gave you the 2-game bonus disc. So I have this one, the Ocarina of Time GameCube version, along with Master Quest. Unfortunately, this got damaged. A bunch of my games got damaged with the hurricanes back in 2017. So these are not playable, unfortunately. So I'm just holding on to them as proof that I had them. That I have them, I should say. But I would love so much to be able to replay those memories again. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I got Return of the King. Two Towers is in here somewhere. Here is Super Smash Bros. Melee, Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2. My favorite Star Wars game. I was a wrestling fan for a few. I don't know why I still got this, but hey, it's part of the collection, right? WrestleMania X8. I don't like wrestling anymore. That was just a couple years, like 4 or 5 years where I was hooked on it. But yeah, fun games nonetheless. No Mercy was legendary, right? Here we have the Two Towers. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I've always been a Boba Fett fan, so to play this, even though it's Django, it's still fun. I love Bounty Hunter. A couple sports games. Well, not a couple, just two. Here we have NBA Courtside 2002 and Extreme G Racing. That's what I meant with the sports games. Even though it's futuristic, it's still sports because it's racing. And of course, I had to get it, Soul Calibur 2. I was so hooked back then because you could play as Link. That was really awesome. So I got that. So after the GameCube, I took a break from gaming altogether. And it wasn't until the hyped up release for the Wii where I jumped back in and got that, along with the PlayStation 3, but mostly the Wii. And I do have not an extensive library, but still some really cool titles here. Here is, let me show it in order here, Metroid Prime 3, Corruption, Metroid Other M, the game nobody likes, but I dug it anyways. Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, Zelda, Twilight Princess, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. A couple Spider-Man games here, right? Yeah. That's Spider-Man, Edge of Time, Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. This was my favorite because it went into the whole multiverse before that was a thing nowadays. Bleach, Shattered Blade. Not the best game, but I loved the idea there was anime and I could play Big 3 shonen anime. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, you could play as a new Arrancar, so that was really exciting. The Rock Band games. I forgot I had this. The Beatles Rock Band. Here is Rock Band 3, right there. Guitar Hero 5. That's a lot of music games, I know. Guitar Hero World Tour. Naruto Clash of Ninja Revolution. And this was actually my first Wii game, believe it or not. Aside from Wii Sports, obviously. Trauma Center Second Opinion, right there. So that is the Wii collection. But what about mobile gaming? Obviously, you're seeing it here. The screens are all jacked up because it's been ages, but I have here with me all of my mobile consoles. You got the original Game Boy, my Game Boy Pocket with the screen all messed up. I would love to get all of these replaced so I could play them again. Game Boy Color right there. And for some reason, for the life of me, I've delayed this video for months because I've been trying to locate all my Game Boy games. I had more than what I'm going to show you, but I can't find them. They might be lost forever. I searched everywhere, and this is all I could find from my collection. So I'm just going to show you here real quick, not a whole lot. We have the original Tetris. The original Tetris game for Game Boy. The only complete in-box Game Boy games that I have are these two. I remember having more of the boxes, but I can't find them. I do apologize for that. But I do have Pokemon Blue version, which started a lifelong obsession. I am a diehard Pokemon fan. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for the Game Boy Color. And here are the little games I could find. Obviously, Pokemon Blue, which you just saw the box for. Pokemon Blue. Red, right there. Here we have Pokemon Yellow. This one is Donkey Kong Land 3, Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX. For the Game Boy Color, Pokemon Pinball. I really wish I had the box for this. I love the box art for this game. I can't find it. For the Game Boy Advance, just 3 games. I got really late into it a couple of years back. So I have here with me Metroid Fusion. This one is Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3. And Gallery and Watch, or Game & Watch Gallery 4, sorry. And that is that. Here's my Game Boy Advance SP. Thanks to my friend Nelson for hooking me up with a Game Boy Advance because I never had one. And then I used to play with my friend's DS. I don't think I owned one. It's not until I got into the 3DS where I started getting all the DS and 3DS games and all that stuff. And here is my 3DS XL, and that's a custom, I don't know if the camera can actually pick that up, that's a custom decal thingy. We have for the Nintendo DS Pokemon Heart Gold version. This is the, not for resale because it's part of the big box that comes with the Pokewalker. I don't have it, or that box itself, but I do have the game complete, you know, with the manual and everything. So I know this fetches for a high price online. That's actually pretty cool. And this game also fetches for a high price, surprisingly. It is Pokemon Platinum version, and inside, complete in box and everything, I do have a loose copy of Pokemon Black. So yeah, I would love to get the box for that. Here we go into Nintendo 3DS. We've got Scribblenauts Unmasked, the DCE Comics adventure. Here is Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Here we have, was it 2014? I don't know. Pokemon X. This is Fire Emblem Awakening. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Probably wondering about the Wii U. I'll get to that in a second. Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS. Got this because I didn't really care for the Wii U like a lot of people. So I wasn't going to miss out on Smash Brothers, so I picked up the 3DS version. Here we have Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. You're probably wondering, hey, you liked Zelda, but you didn't show Majora's Mask. I played it back in the day. I rented it or something from Blockbuster. I never owned it, but I did play and own Majora's Mask 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. I also have Hyrule Warriors Legends. Here is Pokemon Moon. And of course, Metroid Samus Returns, the remake from the Game Boy game. So that is my tiny 3DS collection. I would love to own for the DS or the 3DS the Dragon Quest games. So those are pretty expensive online. So I'm hoping they get a Switch port at some point. I would love to own the Metroid Pinball, Hunters, and Federation Force to finish off the Metroid collection. And the Final Fantasy games that were released on Game Boy Advance and DS. I want to get those as well. I think I'd be happy with just getting all that stuff. So, like I mentioned, I stopped pretty much there, and I didn't get the Wii U, so I missed out on all the cool first-party games that came out, but thankfully, with the release of the Switch and them wanting to recoup their sales, right, from the Wii U's disastrous run, most of them are getting ported to the Switch, so I've been happy to get them as I can, as I'm able to. So we're going to move on to my Switch collection. This was going to be a video unto itself, but then again, I had all of this. I didn't want to make two separate videos, so I'm just making one, and I'm going to show you my Switch collection right here. Okay, so we start with Super Mario Odyssey. This is the Traveler's Guide bundle. I forgot the name of this, but it comes with the manual, which is really cool. Here we have Sonic Mania Plus. Obviously, I have a lot of Sonic games on the Sega Genesis, so I was really happy to pick this up. Sonic Mania. Here we have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Mega Man 11. Here is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Pokemon Shield. Splatoon 2. My first limited run game. This is River City Girls. Super Mario Maker 2, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, the twin pack of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. I'm so excited that we're getting Final Fantasy IX so that I can at least collect that chunk of Final Fantasy games along with X, X2, and 12. Here is Clubhouse Games, The Wonderful 101 Remastered, Streets of Rage 4, Bayonetta 1 and 2, the dual pack thing. Catherine Full Body. I had this for the PS3, but I got lost. Unplayable, I should say. The disc is unreadable, so I was happy to pick that version up so I can play the story again. Paper Mario, The Origami King. I do want to get the originals, but they're pretty expensive. Mario Kart Deluxe 8, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I should say. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. Shantae Half Genie Ultimate Edition. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Here is Dragon Quest XI and Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2. I need to get the Zero games. And Shantae, The Seven Sirens, along with this big box edition right here with Ring Fit Adventure. So this is, as of 2020, my Nintendo collection. I doubt it'll change in the years to come, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm not actively collecting retro games. I love playing them, but I'm just actively collecting for the Switch instead. So I do want to make a Switch update video at some point later on with more games. I'm actively hunting those down. And that's about it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That's been a lot of fun to talk about these games and show them off and relive a little bit of my childhood with all of that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and let me know in the comments what's your favorite Nintendo game from your collection. That's about it. Thank you, everybody.